Hey everybody, what's up? This is Ashley from the Cool Ass Black Woman podcast, and I am super excited because guess what? One of my favorite people here, she doesn't even know she's one of my favorite people. We have Nina Parker here,
Oh, thank
and
you
I'm
for having
so
me.
thankful for you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you. This is like I'm kicking off this this new campaign called Through Our Lens, and to me, it's insight on who we are as the Black culture, and we don't get a chance to see that from just different people.
Right.
Like we think, for me, I think like, oh, people were raised like me, but no.
No.
No. So
It's a lot of different upbringings.
Yeah, so I'm like, God placed it on my heart. It was like through our lens, and I was like, all right, so this is it. I'm running with it. So I'm super excited that you're here with me. We're kicking off Through Our Lens season 5 podcast, and it's about to go up, girl.
I'm excited, yes.
So I was telling you before we got on camera that how this all came about. So I've been like heavy in my Bible lately and doing my prayer line. And I was getting out the shower one day and God said Nina Parker. And I was like, this was in December. This is when I sent that message.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now God is talking about me.
God want to talk about me. I love that.
God said Nina Parker. And I was like, she ain't going to respond.
Really?
Literally.
Oh my gosh.
Literally.
I over respond. I respond to everything. If you follow me on Threads, I'm a huge yapper.
Oh.
I am not one of those people that doesn't respond. Like I respond. I probably if anybody sends me a message, if I see it, I'm likely to respond.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big responder.
I was actually pretty shocked when you responded.
Really?
Like, wait, hold on. I was like, oh wait, shit.
Yeah, no, of course.
So he put it on my heart. I sent you the message, and then it just kept going. And like yesterday we had a quick mishap because it was a typo, and I was
you thought I was trying to play you.
Listen,
she was like, "Do you know your team? Do you know what they doing?" I was like, "I think it's a typo, sis."
I didn't think it was you. I didn't think it was.
I do love that you didn't think it was me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because
it does happen sometimes when you do allow people to, like managers and agents, to represent you, that they can cross hairs. And I do try to have like my team be Black. Like I want Black representation, but that doesn't always happen. It doesn't always align. So with people who are not people of color on my team, I have to really make an emphasis that when I'm doing Black publications or outlets, that I do want extra sensitivity, because I think Black media in general is ignored.
Yes.
So I think there's also a little bit of like trepidation, like, is something happening, because a lot of us aren't used to being seen, given opportunities, having people respond, being, on the red carpet, getting certain things. So, and I felt that way when I was asking people to come in for interviews. So I always try to have a delicate hand with it. So when you hit me and were like, they said we only have 30 minutes. I was like, no, that's not what's happening. But I try to be gentle with that, because I think my manager was like, oh, it was just a typo. And I was like, yeah, but I think like it can come across a certain way, and we have to be mindful of like, intention is one thing, but like how it's received can be very different.
Right. And that's why I was like, man, because I hesitated and I was like, should I say something? I was like, no, because funny enough, yesterday I had a podcast interview and the person did not show up, said that they were going to come.
Oh, no.
Yes.
And they just didn't come.
Did not come.
No,
So,
they didn't tell you?
They confirmed the day. So I have an assistant.
Oh my
so
gosh.
That's so I totally understand.
Yeah, totally. Oh no.
So it was.
No, I don't operate like that. No. But I am glad that you messaged me personally, because sometimes it's easier when it's just like, look, I don't want to go through all these people. Like, can you just tell me what's going on? I had to do that today. That happens with me. I'm working with a big outlet for something, and there's like 4 producers on it. And they were supposed to call me. They didn't. Finally, I just was like, girl, here's my number. Just text me. Yeah. Because the 50 million emails, like this, sometimes we overcomplicate communication, and sometimes we just need a direct, like, hey, this is what's up. So I'm also a very direct person. Yeah. So low key confrontational. I've been
she
told.
Coming from the Bay.
So I'm very like, okay, let's just talk about it. So that's my personal style.
Yeah, no, and because I've done my research on who you are and all of the things, I felt that energy. Yeah. It was like because I hit you with a hi.
No, I could tell. She was like, what's going on? I'm about to blow shit up. I was like, no, but I did call my manager. I was like, hey, and he was like, oh no, It was just a typo, my bad. He was very
Yeah, no,
apologetic,
I
but
appreciate
he had
that.
no idea he even did that. So he was like, "Oh shoot," So we're all just typing so fast. But I am of the belief that our iPhones are creating misinformation for us, because I have
Facts.
never had this many typos, typing crazy. When I send stuff, I feel like the words get switched around. I'm like, are they trying to make us crazy or
Yes.
start us to infighting?
It's
'Cause
AI. It's the
it's
AI
something going
thing.
on where I feel like I have never misspelled this many words in my life.
Like, I
I'm
went to
like,
school.
what?
I know how to read. But
Right.
this,
I'm trying to spell masterpiece. You type McDonald's. Like, what's going on, iPhone?
I know there, and there.
They're trying to split us up. They're trying to divide us as a community. So just keep that in mind.
Somebody said to
With
me
your next,
right.
with your next message with somebody, make sure it's not iPhone trying to break y'all relationship up.
Right word, because
Right.
we care about the commas.
Yes,
We care about
I
the
really do.
periods.
I'm actually really good at grammar, so I'm like, wait, I go back and read sometimes. So I'm like, what is going on? So anyway,
That's
my
actually pretty
own rant
funny.
for another day.
No. That was good. No, that was really good. But no, yeah, it's a beautiful thing that you're here to be able to share your
Yeah, of
story.
course.
And so for me, when I saw that you were this wonderful person on television, you were an inspiration to me, even though I was
Ooh.
never a journalist.
Okay.
This is not me.
Okay.
What you see, with the camera see this, I'm really just a person that owns the brand, and I'm doing it, but they're trying to force me in front of the
Okay.
television and the screen just so that I can share the stories
Sure.
behind it. And being that you are a representation for young Black girls, I mean, millennial Black women, I don't know if you really realize how like impactful you are to our community.
Oh, thank you. It's hard. LA is a hard place to feel appreciation. Sometimes I feel more appreciation outside of LA. I'm a California native, so I'm from the Bay. So but I feel like when I go to places like Houston or Atlanta or even New York, I'm probably shown a little bit more love than I am in LA, because I feel like everybody in LA wants to be really cool, super cool, and I'm just not like that.
Yeah, everybody want to be down. And
Yeah,
it's just like,
and I just, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I respect people's boundaries, but if I enjoy someone or like them, I really try to let them know. I'm not too cool to like be vulnerable enough to let people know what I enjoy or whatever. So I appreciate when women reach out and say that, or say it in person, because sometimes this industry, because it's full of no's, can really convince you that you're not that girl, know, and spotlight doesn't mean you're that girl. Getting up every day and hustling, you that girl. So LA can really play tricks on your mind. I always tell people I think LA is way harder than New York. And
I say the same thing.
I feel like New York is it's not that it's easy, but it's almost gentler person to person. I feel like New Yorkers are very friendly. Like, people say New Yorkers are not, but they're just direct, which is my love language.
Yeah,
But Hollywood is different because it's more like the mafia. Like, they'll smile at you and love you and be planning your downfall. And it's hard to have friend groups here. It's hard to know who to trust here. It creates almost like a sense of paranoia in the industry, and then the comparison on top of that I truly believe can drive people crazy.
Yeah.
So it's really something you have to keep in check, but also, like, it's, again, because everybody is comparing, they don't always tell you. Sometimes I don't know how to unpack somebody until I see them doing the same thing.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, you was seeing what I was doing, because you're doing the same shit. Oh, okay. Which is flattered.
We was just talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I'm flattered. With your monitoring ass.
Yeah, and watch me.
And which, by the way, we all monitor.
And it's
monitoring without expression becomes a little sinister, right? Because if you're always watching but you don't never say anything, it's kind of weird. But I like I said, I'm a yapper, so I'm happy to tell people when I'm inspired, or we're all inspired. Like,
no, absolutely.
These days, most things aren't original. You've seen it before.
And the thing is like, I'm down to help you. I'm down to be that motivation for you. But just tell me that, hey, that you're about to start your own thing that looks just like mine.
Right.
I want to support you.
I'm a big heads up giver. Yeah. I'm like, let me just give you a heads up.
I know you don't look. I know you don't watch not Real Housewives. Well, you don't watch Real Housewives, right?
I don't. How do you know that?
I watched your interview. I had to prepare.
You did research.
I did and because I come from that time.
Yeah,
right?
I have reality show PTSD, so I don't watch a lot of reality shows unless it's completely opposite. I just don't like watching fighting. So I just, people
Yeah.
arguing is triggering for me. So I just don't enjoy, that's not something I enjoy on my free time.
Mm-hmm.
If it's scripted, I can do it. But if it's like I like mess scripted wise, like a
Right.
TV show.
Right.
But reality shows, it's just, I'm at a place now where I'm really trying to have like a peaceful inner spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes what you ingest, what you're viewing, can really affect your outward like appearance to the world and disrupt you a little bit. So I'm really mindful about what my intake is. Probably my vice is more social media than TV.
Really?
Yeah.
And social media is its own handful.
Yeah, because I have a journalist background, so I really deep dive.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, well, where the hell am I? How did I end up here? I'm looking at the Ukraine from 1910. Like, where the fuck did this happen?
Right. So with that being said, I'll give you my reference later. But with that being said, I had a question. Like, you're from the Bay. One, what brought you to LA out of all places?
Yeah.
Because you could have went to New York.
I did go to New York. I went to New York first.
Okay.
So my parents are both LA natives.
Mm-hmm.
So LA was always accessible. I never was a person that was like, oh, I'm going to get to LA one day, because I came here every summer. So my parents are natives, all my uncles, cousins, like my dad's side of the family was way bigger than my mom. So my dad was one of 6. And so he had tons of, his sisters had tons of kids. So for me, it was so much fun to come to LA every summer and just run around with my cousins. So LA was something not that I felt like I had done, but I had been to and been a part of. So New York to me was like, okay, can I make it there? Which I couldn't, by the way, like not at that age, not when I was 23. I didn't know what I was doing.
That's actually the age that when I moved to New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was no joke.
No, it was no joke. I got my scalp peeled back, all the way back.
How long were you there?
6 months.
Oh,
6 months,
no.
baby. I said, let me get my ass back to California. I was not ready, prepared, or mature enough for that type of life. And it really is a lesson to where you think you go to school, you get the education, and you really think you can go take over the world. And the real life stuff happens. And you're like, I had a really rude awakening that I just wasn't ready for what I thought I was. It was very humbling experience for me. And it actually made me quit the industry for many years. Like I quit the industry for 4 years because I was like, I can't do this. Like I was scared. So I didn't restart everything till I was 27. And that's when I came to LA.
What was the outlet that you went to out in New York? Was it like
BET? Oh, I didn't go to any outlet. Nobody hired me. I didn't go anywhere. I was working at Barnes and Noble. I did not get in the industry. They laughed. They were like, you don't have no experience. Why? No, girl, get out of here. It was there was no welcoming. It was 100% no's. And then I got a temp job at like Barnes and Noble and was working in offices. Like I was not working in the industry. I wasn't even going to industry events. Like I was not, they were not having it. Like
that was the awakening, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, because there was an entitlement from me I was like, well, what did you mean? I got a degree. And they were like, we don't care. Everybody got a degree. It really let me know that like, and this is before this Instagram didn't exist. Like content creation didn't exist. This is 2003.
Yeah.
So it really let me know that like, yeah, you got a degree, and so do these 100 other people, but then they got this and this and this, and it really made me learn that I had to step my game up. Like the basic line was not going to be good enough to get to where I needed to be. Like I think a lot of times we want to check off a box, but like what are you doing to put yourself apart from everybody else? And are you actually putting in the work? Or are you just saying, oh, I did this, so now I'm expected to have this? So when I came back to the industry 4 years later, I was like, I had no ego about me. When I was 23, I had major ego because I was like, I'm owed this. I got a degree, like, because amongst the people I knew, I was probably the cream of the crop. But against the people of the world, I was in 1,000th place.
You was in the back.
Yeah. So when I came back, when I decided to make the move to LA after being out of the industry for several years, I was like, I'll take out the trash. Like, I just need to get in the building. I'll basically work for nothing. Like, what can I do? For me, it was more important to be in the room than it was like what I was getting paid at the time.
So, okay. So how big was the Observer? You see, I did that. How big was the Observer to you for your career to get to LA? So that, because you said you took yourself out of the industry for that many years, was that when you went to the Observer to see if that was something that you
What
really
do you
wanted to?
mean,
So like
the
you were
Observer?
the newspaper.
I've never.
I mean, the not the Observer, the one the newspaper in the Bay that you do a lot of work for. You speak on there. It's a black
You,
publication.
you mean now?
Yeah, you.
They're just doing. I just have a partnership with them. Like,
Oh,
it's just a
okay.
brand
No,
partnership.
no, no. So back then,
Uh huh.
when you were coming up
Uh huh.
between 23 or between that time,
Sure.
right? Was that a huge impact on you? Like, did
No.
you have? Okay.
No. No. I mean, it existed, and at the time, I think it was like a paper, and it existed, but it wasn't. It didn't have anything to do with, like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I went to school, I got my degree, I interned for Cron News in San Francisco, which was the NBC affiliate at the time, which now it's something else. But that was like my first entry into
Okay.
news. Yeah.
Okay. And then now you came to, not now, but then you came to LA. You said TMZ. You said, I want to get in the building.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I found like this temp agency that I was like, okay, I need a job, and I was thinking, like, like how do I get in here? Because there's no roadmap to getting into Hollywood.
Right.
You just come to the city and you're like, how do I get in? And so I was like racking my brain, and on, like, again, social media didn't exist. So I mean, I think it was like, MySpace, but
Yeah,
there
Black
wasn't
Planet,
really
Facebook.
any way to use the internet to network.
Right.
And I found like a temp agency that's staffed on lots. So I was like, well, it's office work, but it's at least on the lot. And so I got a temp job working for Paramount.
Mm.
And it was, ironically, it was working on America's Next Top Model. Yeah, I know.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, but it was behind the scenes. It was like logging things, working. It was in under their global division, so it was like filing and things like that.
You
But
didn't really see what the people are seeing now.
no, I think there was one time Tyra did come into the office, and everybody's like, Tyra's coming in today. But it wasn't, it wasn't anything that would put me in the industry. But what it did do was put me on the lot, and it put me around other young people and other people who were wanting to be in the business. And I kind of created like a network of other people. I think what people often do is they see someone that's where they want to be, they try to attach themselves to that person. But the biggest tool that you can use are your peers.
Yes.
The people next to you.
Yes.
Because y'all working as a network, it's probably the most beneficial thing you can do. Because then you're giving each other heads up on events or going to things, and and they're more accessible than the person that you want to be around probably, is going to be hard to have access to, right?
Exactly.
And so I found they put me on this lot. And I ended up meeting this girl who told me there was this website hiring. And she was like, hey, there's this website hiring. They're looking for entertainment reporters.
Blogs were a thing.
And some blogs were a really big deal. Mm-hmm. And I applied to TMZ, and I literally went to their website. And at the time they had like a contact us email. And I literally wrote them an email and sent them my resume, and they called me. And they were like, can you come in for an interview? And I'll never forget, it was a temp job, and I was making more money at the temp job than the offer for TMZ. And the lady who was running the temp agency was like, you're going to regret like leaving this temp job. We're paying more. Like, what are you thinking? And I was like, I don't care. I remember TMZ was paying $3 less, like $3.50 an hour, which was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, yeah.
And something told me I needed to go in that route, even though I was taking a pay cut, and I took it. And that's what ended up like starting the trajectory of my career in LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a journey. That was
a real broke journey. It was.
But see, but again, through our lens, right? Because people don't really take the time to realize like what type of journey you really have to go through to get to where you want to be. Like they think like we didn't have Instagram back in the day. I don't know where I would be if I had Instagram.
I mean, Instagram has cut a lot of corners.
Yeah.
Where like you can just DM somebody. You can just, and they may not respond, but you can lurk, you can find resources. Mm-hmm. I had to do all that stuff. I had to play Blue's Clues back in the day, to find things and to find people. Social media has helped a lot in the sense of accessibility. And also just like you don't need certain things, any structures anymore. You can kind of break those down. So,
right. And I love that you can just, like you said, break it down.
Yeah.
It's not as so like, I'm just trying to get into it, but also, as the culture our voices a little bit more louder,
Right.
which is cooler.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
great. I mean, I think I am of the belief that like I think regular folks are way more funny than like the comedians.
I
Like if you're online, like and you're in the comments, you like, oh my gosh, like people are so funny. Like the lady working at the laundromat, whatever. Like I love that social media gives power to real raw talent.
Mhm.
And sometimes it goes nowhere, but every now and then you see people who are able to really take their platforms and make something of it. And that's just so
Yes.
impressive to me. And I'm just of the belief that if it can happen for them, it can happen for me.
Yeah.
Like I've always been of the belief that if something exists, I can have it.
So, okay, so with that being said, who is a cool ass Black woman that inspires you?
I mean, it starts like big, obviously, like, I grew up watching Oprah, like,
Yeah.
it starts really big.
Girl.
Yes, exactly, because that was one of the few Black women I saw on TV. And then, it's being inspired many different ways, right? If I'm watching Family Matters, I'm inspired by Laura Winslow's style. I think, especially with Black women, we had to kind of take little pieces from things because the representation we needed wasn't always there in full. So you're like, okay, well, I like how they move this way. I like this from this person.
Yes.
You're taking a little bit, even if they're not in your industry, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes we may have only had actors or actresses to look up to. So I think like it's somebody like Regina King, right? Like her strength.
Journey. Yeah.
How funny Regina Hall is, like her comedy. I look at someone, sometimes I look at people younger than me. I think a lot of people have, especially people who are older, kind of start to feel like they're wiser. But I tend to like look behind me too, because I feel like you can get really set in your ways as you age. And I think it's really important to evolve. So if I look at someone like Rihanna, like she was an inspiration for me to start my clothing line, because I'm like, yeah, you do need these multiple streams of income. You can't be so dependent upon one thing. And to be honest with you, I have trust issues with allowing like one place to dictate the trajectory of my life and my career. I just refuse to give the keys of my life to anybody. And so I'm going to do as much as I can to be as independent as I can.
And how long have you been this independent?
My whole life.
I know that's right.
This is honestly something I was born with, because I my parents talk about stuff when I was a kid, and they're just like, you just didn't need a lot, like or even like going to take my driver's test. My mom was like, you made the appointment, like you were like, hey, I need the car at this time. Can you come with me here? I booked this. Like she was like, you were just always. But also, I'm the oldest child.
Okay.
Okay. And I think like my parents had me in their 20s, but they were still trying to figure out life. And so I think there was just a part of me that knew if I didn't do it, not that it wasn't going to get done, because they were supportive parents, but they were young parents and they were both working full-time jobs. So they would do stuff for me, but I had to like let them know, like, hey, if I want to play this sport, I got to tell them. Yeah. They weren't the kind of parents that were going to just put you in anything,
right?
Because they was busy. They was trying to, feed us.
That was how it was back in the day.
Yeah. And I think, and then growing up in the 80s and 90s, like there was a lot of independence for kids, like way more independence.
We didn't have a choice because that was the crack era.
Yeah.
So, and not saying that everybody's parent was on that, but it was just like the way things were maneuvering at that time. You didn't have a choice.
There was a lot of independence for kids, like you taking yourself home, like kids would walk around with the keys around their neck. Like we had a lot of independence, and so
to where you don't even trust the people now. You got to have the little Apple
now
AirTag
it's real crazy, but it wasn't
sick.
like that in the 80s and the 90s. Like we were, and it was community. Like the neighbors would be like, get your ass in the house, like, and you listen. You weren't arguing. You respected, your elders.
Right.
So I do feel like that was a cool golden era of being raised, because I was able to really learn. My parents really never forced anything on me. They allowed me to say no to things that I didn't enjoy. And if there was something I was doing I wanted to stop, they would let me do that. And that freedom really allowed me to find out who I was at an early age, because a lot of my friends were being told who they were, what they were going to do. You're going to go to church every Sunday. Like my parents never forced me to go to church. They both grew up in incredibly religious households. And so for them, they made the decision that it was going to be our choice. And so they were like, if you want to go, you can go, but we're not going to force you to go. And so, I was able to really have this own discovery with God. Like there were a lot of things that I had to rely on myself to discover, because they were like, we're not going to tell you who you are. Yeah. And that to me, as you were saying earlier, you were saying earlier, like we didn't all grow up the same. And I didn't realize other people didn't have that freedom until I was around my friends who were like, I have to do this. I have to go there.
I got to pick up my little
brother. I got to do this. I have these responsibilities on me. Or I had a friend who like could never go anywhere. Like her parents would not let her go skating. She couldn't go to the park. Like she could only go to school and home. And so I saw the really strict parents. I saw the kids who raised their own parents who were like, parents were on drugs. So I got to see like, I really was an observer very young. And so I was able to be like, this don't feel right. Like, I don't feel like you should be doing this. Like, where's your mama?
And I don't want to do that, so I'm going to go do this.
Yeah. And I didn't realize until as an adult, like, how much of a blessing that was. And sometimes there were growing pains, right? Because there were things I missed out on because my parents were like, almost let me be too independent, where I'm like, wait, I need y'all to tell me what to do here. And then they would swoop in, but it was, you know, we was all kind of in it together.
Everybody had their own. Rock out.
Yeah. I mean, they were parents and there were rules, and my dad didn't play that. But at the same time, they were really open. And I really, as an adult, appreciate that because it really allowed me to stretch my legs.
Yeah, because a lot of parents want to have that hovering, that sheltered. And it's like your child doesn't even know what it's like to be independent.
Yeah.
But then when they get older, it's like, oh, now they're reliant on all of the things.
And a lot of people get stunted at a really young age. I mean, we've met adults who still kind of act like they're 15, 16.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't talking about all the men, but no, I'm joking.
I don't mean to.
You know, people get stunted because they're not pushed to grow.
Yeah.
And for me, like, growth has always been really important. My biggest fear is being delusional.
Yeah.
Tyra Banks.
Say that. No. Because did you see her sit there in that interview? I don't even know what she's talking about.
My biggest fear is like walking out of a room and people are like, this bitch is crazy. Like, this bitch is out her mind. I'm fine with you thinking I'm crazy, but I don't want you to think like I'm mentally unsound.
Yeah.
You can call me crazy, but I don't want to be unsound. I want you to think I'm unwell.
Yeah, no, because let me tell you, you can't tell me they just didn't walk her in there, sit her down and say, okay, talk about it.
Yes, exactly.
Because the way she was responding, I was like, girl.
Yes.
But no, like, even just being, like, mentally sound, well enough to even just know how to direct your journey. And that brings me to, like, what did you have to truly overcome to even get to this point?
Yeah. Oh, I mean.
Well, outside of, you know, like, everything. But the biggest, like, I would say, let me ask this question to be a little more clear. After leaving TMZ, what you thought that was gonna be your end all be all, to get to I own a brand that we do jeans. Like, how did you, like, what did you have to overcome? Because I know that was a mind.
I mean, it's grapple. So many. I think, like, first you just have to accept that, like, success isn't one thing. And you can have more. I always tell people you can have more than one love of your life, because I think for me growing up, I was always so focused and I knew I wanted to do TV. I was really focused at an early age.
Yeah.
I went into college. I knew what I wanted to do. I majored in broadcasting. I was interning. I was doing the extra credit. I was filming shows. Like, I was a really good student. And that still didn't prepare me for real life. And so I think, like, also I wanted to decide, like, what else am I passionate about? And also, do I only want to be defined by the work that I do?
Yes.
And I think I went through phases of that. In my 20s and 30s, my career was the only thing I really cared about. And now I really care about a quality of life in addition to that.
And peace.
And visibility doesn't mean as much to me as it did even 5 years ago. Getting invited to parties, not being on the 30 for 30 list, like, those things were really important to me when I was younger.
Really?
Really important. And if I wasn't, I was devastated. And now I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm like, I don't care if you acknowledge me, because I feel like people find me. Like, you find me, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm not getting invited to the Oscars, but I am. Like, to me, this stuff matters more, which is why I make time for it, because I think, like, my first love is always going to be Black women. I love us so much. I love Black people, but especially as a curvy Black woman who felt ignored, it's really important for me to make other Black women feel seen. It's one of the reasons why I created the clothing line. And so, you know, I did not envision, like, a clothing line in my career. But I actually hated fashion, because I was like, they ain't checking for us.
And these
runways
don't check.
These runways don't check for us. They don't put us on the magazines. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about fashion.
Yeah.
And then I started to be like, okay, like, I'm complaining about this. Like, I'm a big person of, like, how do I make a difference? How do I change this?
Solution.
It's always, for me, is community who looks like me, not for the shine. That can't be the focus. Because if your focus is attention, when that attention goes, you have a breakdown. If your sole focus is for validation, it'll break you. So you have to do it because you enjoy it, not because other people are going to be impressed by it. And so when I started operating like that, like, what is my passion? What do I care about? It started opening up all these other kind of doors for me. And so, the clothing line honestly came because I was just frustrated with not being able to find anything, frustrated with fashion. And I really just started to put my feelers out there, and connected with my now business partner, who was like, I love your show and I want to do a plus line. Like, would you be interested? And it happened that quickly. Sometimes like things happen really fast.
In that same week, like,
yeah, you really be surprised about what prayer can do. But like, you can't pray and do nothing.
Correct.
You
Faith
do
without
have
works
to.
is dead.
You gotta work for it. You gotta, even for me, I make a commitment that if there's something I want, I do one thing a day about it. Like,
Yes.
if it's a contact I want to make, then I'm sending an email. I'm doing something, one thing a day, even if it's small, to inch forward towards that goal. I'm not just thinking I want something, but every day goes by, I do nothing about it.
Yeah, I'm a believer in, if you want something so bad and you don't have the energy to put everything into it,
Sure.
30 minutes a day is enough.
Yeah. Even if, even if it's doing research.
Yeah.
But something,
yeah.
whether it's buying a home, whatever. But if you're thinking, I want this big mansion and this is not attainable, then it never will be for you.
Right.
I'm always like, well, why can't I? I'm always been like, why can't that be mine? Why can't I just have this?
I'm about to have that.
And when I had my meeting with my agent about my clothing line, she was like, what do you mean you want to do clothes? Like, you've never done this. You never said this before. Like, how are we supposed to do this? I was like, I don't know, girl.
But figure it out.
Before get a number, get an email, and I don't care what crazy people think it is.
Yeah.
And I do think like the craziest people are the most successful, because you have to have like this insane vision to be like, you know what, I just want to do this shit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
That's just like, to me, Beyonce going off and doing a hair care product line, and I'm like,
which is great. I used Sacred this morning.
Okay, see, and I'm wanting to get into it, but then at first, when I first saw it, for me, it was like, when have I ever seen Beyonce wear her natural hair?
Right.
But then it clicked. Oh, we're about to start seeing it.
And I think we've seen it and didn't know.
Correct.
We've seen it and we didn't know we was seeing it.
Especially in one of them documentaries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think like for me right now, my passion, I'm really passionate about skincare, and it's not anything I'm making any money off of. It's just something I really love and I enjoy. But I've just started posting about it. And ironically, I've had like skincare companies reach out and be like, we'd love to send you stuff. We didn't know you cared about this. Sometimes it's just as simple as putting something in the universe and seeing what comes back to you, And so I'm like, do I want to do skincare? I'm just like playing with it right now, but it's something that brings me joy. It's something I enjoy. It distracts me from like the craziness of the world.
It's easier than being in front of a whole bunch of people.
Well, it's not, I wouldn't say easier, because I think like every industry has its challenges, So, for me, like being in front of people is easy. Like,
right. And for me, I'm like,
that's like a cakewalk for me. I'm like, I could go be in front of 1 million people tomorrow. It wouldn't do anything. But like filming a skincare video terrifies me. So, it's like,
well, but you know what? That's cool to know, because you would think like, okay, you always in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Nothing will scare you.
It's vulnerability though, I think, and the new territory is always really scary for you. And you worry about like what are people going to think,
That's the biggest piece.
That's the part you kind of have to, my good friend and co-host Kev on stage is like, you can't really worry about how it's going to be received. You just kind of have to do it.
Yeah. It's necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary, because you won't even get anything done if you don't move.
No, and I mean, you can't be worried about like the criticism, because the thing is you're going to get criticized.
Yeah.
And then some people aren't going to like your shit. Like, that's just the facts.
I've had enough Generation X come to me and say, well, why would you make a shirt that says cool ass black woman? Why would you refer to black women as ass? And I'm like, listen, it's supposed to be empowerment. It's empowering. Like, this is for you. This is for you to feel strong. And it's just so like not normal for, and it's just
I love my Gen X sisters, but there is a little toxicity in that generation. I'm a part of it, by the way.
Well, and
I'm on the tail end of Gen X. So I am 46 years old. So I'm like,
and don't look.
I'm kind of like, thank you. Well, we gonna look like this till we 82.
Yeah, nothing. Right.
But like I'm kind of like that zillennial, like where I'm a little bit of both. Because I feel really tapped in, and I was, I had childhood in the 80s and the 90s, and then so it's like, I feel like I'm infused with both Gen X and millennials, but like I do feel like Gen X can be very toxic, and there's a lot of still male centeredness within Gen X that can
Yes.
be
Yes.
really difficult,
Yes.
and then on the male side, you see like, they have really toxic ways that are really connected to deep rooted white supremacy thing,
Yeah.
like, so
Yeah.
it's a
See,
lot
that's a
of
whole nother
shit to
podcast.
work out.
That's a whole nother situation.
I'm proud of millennials and honestly Gen Z, where like
Yes,
I feel like
yes.
there's a lot of progressiveness in the thought process. I see a lot, to me, like in dating even, right? Like I have men who are younger than me wanting to date, and sometimes I find more maturity in like a guy who's 35 than a guy who's my age.
Yeah.
Because they're more accepting of certain lifestyles and ideals than like, I sometimes feel like Gen X men can be a little toxic.
Go to the kitchen, cook me dinner,
Yes,
rub my
which
feet,
look,
pick up the
if
kids,
you
and
whatever
go to
you
work.
decide your gender role is in your relationship is your role, but like, there's no flexibility.
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting. So I can see why that would be, and it's very like stubbornness, which I don't feel like I have any of that. Like I want to grow, I want to learn. So that's why I always say I'm kind of that like miniature generation that's in between.
Yeah.
They say it's like from 1979 to 1983. There's like that micro generation. I feel like I'm more a part of that because I can't get with like the toxic shit.
No, and it's like, and it's very toxic.
I know.
It's
and I
very
see younger Black
toxic.
women saying like Gen X women have like scarred them
Yeah.
because of some of these beliefs. And I'm like, oh
honey.
my gosh,
Oh, honey, when I
Yeah.
tell you stories, I've had a woman, when I first started Cool Ass Black Woman, and I've been around for going on 8 years, told me that this will never succeed as big as Ebony, Essence, or any of that. She said this is on a lower level. And this was a Black woman.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
It's
just
crazy
because
to
you
say.
said that, I'm about to
Right.
go and do it. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's her, that's, I think one thing I'm able to see really quickly is other people's projection.
So I'm learning that.
Yeah,
I'm learning that in my
but people
healing.
just be
in my
projecting
healing.
half the time. I remember when I first went to school and there was a girl who was like, oh, the competition's just too much at the school. Like, it's just too much competition in that department. So I just didn't do it. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like some scary shit to me.
Yeah.
You sound
You
scary.
a little punk.
Like,
I'm
I ain't scared of competition. I ain't
Yeah.
never been scared.
Show
So I was
up.
like, that's an incentive. So I think it really just depends on the lens that you're looking at
Yes.
things. And that just, goes for life. And I just don't believe anything is impossible for me. I just don't
Facts.
believe that.
Facts. And that's
Unless we talk in sports, and then it is impossible because I got 2 left feet. So, I don't
so
know
you
what
can
I'm doing.
cha-cha, but you can't run up the field.
Right, girl, no. Like, it's, somebody tomorrow's like, you could be a basketball star. That I would be like, this is impossible. If we talking physicality. But like, as far as reaching your dream, like, let's be for real. But
Right,
like,
right.
if you're going for your goal, then I really am a big advocate of that.
Yes. Okay, so what is for throughout this whole journey that you've had, and we've gone through your journey, right? What is one thing that you can say that has helped heal you?
Therapy, getting a Black therapist.
Okay.
She has not only has she changed my life, she has saved other people's lives. Because like the
Real
truth
stuff.
is like I grew up having a really bad temper.
Mhm.
I grew up fighting, like, you know what I mean? Like I grew up like not violent, but experienced violence, seeing violence. Like I didn't go to like private schools. Like I was in the hood. Like I went to, school, like they gave it up. And so you had to kind of like fight to survive, and that really becomes like your second nature. And I don't think people who don't grow up like that, they don't realize how that's always going to be your second nature. Like it doesn't go away.
Right.
And so I think I had to really learn how to control that to be able to get because this industry, people talk to you crazy. People talk to you crazy. And your first instinct is always going to be snatch somebody by the neck. And you're like, I can't do this on the red carpet.
Range around and
I can't do this on the carpet. I have to figure out another way.
Start playing with your fingers, like, okay.
Ultimately, though, like I decided I didn't like giving people that much power over me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, damn, this is a lot of power to like have this person shift my energy all day. Have this person like take me out of my character to where I could potentially lose a gig. Like, why am I giving these strangers, like, why am I letting this person who cut me off, like, why am I letting them get to me so much? I really wanted to figure that out. But I think, like, the first sign is, like, wanting to actually do the work. Because, you can get as much therapy as you want. I know people who will lie to their therapist. I tell her everything.
That's crazy, because she's my most expensive homegirl.
Yes,
okay?
exactly.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you if I'm paying you.
Yes, because like I told you, my biggest fear is being delusional. So for me, like, I want to be able to to know, like, was this a rational response? Also, can I get the tools to respond differently if this wasn't a rational response? And it has healed me in ways that I couldn't imagine. It's made me a lot lonelier, to be honest with you, because I think I was a people pleaser, not in the sense that I let people walk over me, but the people that I loved, I gave my everything for, and I didn't put myself first. And I had to really learn how to do that. And that makes a lot of people not want to fuck with you, because when they are used to putting themselves first and you putting them first and you do it for yourself, they don't know how to respond. So I think, like, my therapist really, I mean, I've been with her since 2022. And she came at a time where my show on E! Got canceled, and I was really devastated, and I still had things going on, but it was really hard for me to, like, deal with the cancellation of the show. How the network handled it really crushed me. And I kind of thought at that stage in my career, not that things can't go away, but I had a lot of security and I was making really good money, and then everything was kind of ripped away from me, and I was really angry. I was mad, and I toyed with a lot of different things of going off and just crashing out. And I met her maybe like 3 months before my show got canceled, and she was there at the perfect time. She was like, okay.
Wow.
At one point, I was seeing her twice a week.
God set that up for real.
And she really, over the last couple of years, has helped me really manage, you know, being a Black woman in a space where there's very few of us, and like also validating, like, no, you can feel like this. Because I would really like feel things and beat myself up for feeling them. I shouldn't be angry. Or if I'm jealous, I shouldn't feel jealous. She's like, you have a right to feel your feelings. What you don't have a right to do is express it in a toxic way that could impact someone else. But feeling your feelings is okay. Once I think I finally felt like I had permission to explore my emotions, it helped heal a part of me. Because I think as Black people, we deny like our emotions quite a bit. And I let myself feel what I'm going to feel, but I also have the tools to do it in a way that isn't going to be to my detriment.
I love that. I really, really love that, because I actually just got off a year of going to therapy twice a week. So that was my first, it wasn't my first encounter with a therapist, but it was my second actually encounter. But I had, like you, got my therapist right at the right time. My mom went into the hospital, and I was like, hey, I need to talk to somebody because my family is off the chain.
Yeah, listen,
and
that's something else people don't talk about, especially like being Black and being in the industry. You're dealing with these complications with the industry, but then you also dealing with real life shit. You're dealing with microaggressions, racism, and then, you know, I have like a lot of my family that still was affiliated with illegal activities. So like like 3 years ago, I had a cousin who was killed in LA, shot and killed and left in the street. Thank you.
Sorry.
And then I had another cousin who passed away a year later, and then I lost my best friend at the top of last year. So in addition to navigating this industry, I was dealing with, like, you know, like talking to my aunt about this court case, and like and then we're dealing with societal pressures in this administration, like trying to take away our Blackness. And I think like there's a lot of pressure with our community, and when you are a prominent person, there's a lot of expectations on you, and then you're navigating like your own grief, and no one wants to give you grace. And for me, it was driving me to a point where I was really upset all the time. You know, and my therapist was like, you know, anxiety in Black women doesn't look like it looks in white women. Like, anxiety in Black women looks like irritability. It looks like overstimulation. It looks like, you know, overproduction on, you know, to dive into some. So when she told me that, I was like, oh shit, I'm dealing with like anxiety. I'm dealing with PTSD.
Like.
I'm dealing with, you know, and that helped me, because I was like, oh, like, and also I'm allowed to like have these issues.
Yeah. You are just as normal as everyone else.
Right. Because, you know, my white friends would be having breakdowns every week, and everybody be like, okay, Carrie.
Stay
like,
home.
You know, yeah.
Stay home this week.
Like, you know, but I was expected to like just take it on the chin.
Right.
And I think like I didn't even grieve properly for a little while when I was losing people, because I was like, am I allowed to?
You didn't know how.
Yeah.
You didn't know how.
I didn't even know how to grieve or express it. And it came across, I think people just label me something because they didn't know. And I wasn't even sharing it. You know, a lot of people just don't know that I lost this many people in a couple years.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, wait, I'm sorry to hear that. And but for you to keep it tucked,
right? Right.
That in itself is a lot
Yeah.
because you just never know how you can inspire the next person by
Right.
talking about your grief.
Right.
And that's essentially how I got here. Back to because I had stopped doing the podcast and all of that. My mom passed away, and it was like,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And once it happened, I realized like, yo, like I have this whatever God is putting in me, it's something that he wants me to use, and it was my voice. And I was trying to figure out, well, what am I going to say? Because I don't even know what to say.
Right.
What y'all want me to say?
Right.
And it got to a point to I realized, like, oh, at one point I put all of the doctors in one room, and we all got on one page. Okay, so I know what my abilities are.
Sure.
So what do I need to do? Okay, so we need things. We need to know how to operate.
Gotta ask. Yeah. I mean, asking for help, I think, had been my most challenging
need help.
thing.
You need things.
And it's still challenging for me, but I think like when I first started seeing my therapist, she was like, "What's your goal?" And I was like, "Peace." So when I would do shit, she would be like, "Is that a peaceful action?"
Don't talk to me like that.
You cussed that lady out in this parking lot. Was that peaceful? I said, "How dare you?" Now you can get cussed out. So once I parted ways with her, no. But so she would check me, right? And I think like you got to be open to getting checked. But like this last year, now that I wouldn't say I'm completely peaceful, but I know how to find it. Now it's vulnerability. So now that's what I'm working on, is being vulnerable, and that's really hard for me. Probably harder than anything I've ever done. And you know, part of vulnerability is being able to ask. But like we just can't.
Yes.
We can't do this by ourselves.
Yes.
We just can't.
Yes.
You can't do life alone.
No.
You know, like you do need people. And I'm not saying you need a partner, but you need like people.
You can't just walk this earth by yourself.
No, it's just not possible. And I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I had to be honest with that, because I was very much for a while, I don't need nobody. I could do this shit myself. I don't need nobody to help me. I don't trust nobody. And that's just, to me, like that's just being defensive. Like,
yes,
you're just trying to prevent yourself from getting hurt. And now I'm just okay with being hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just okay with it.
I had to learn that.
Get hurt
I had to learn
at
that.
some point.
Yeah.
All right, but like nothing that has hurt me has broke me so far. So like I have the tools to deal with it, and also I just want to be able to stay. I stood 100% down in like who I am, even if someone ended up hurting me. It's probably gonna happen. You know, even if people don't mean to. Like, I've hurt people that I didn't mean to hurt. So yeah, like it might not even be intentional, but it's a possibility. But so the fuck what?
Shout out to your therapist.
Shout out to her. I would give her information, but she don't like that. So
right, I told my therapist.
No, she's like, I don't want everybody calling me. I'm booked. But like, she's dope as fuck. Like, yeah, I actually see her tomorrow. So like, I keep it a regular appointment, and to me, it's just a necessity, especially in this industry. Because I just am of the belief, and she specializes in like Black women CEOs and people who are juggling multiple things. But like, the tools that she has given me, I mean, I do sessions in my bonnet. Like, she be like, "Girl, you ain't got to get dressed up for me." Like, you know, like it's dope, because I did have a white therapist at one time, and I felt like I spent half the session like explaining colloquialism.
I was just about to say
that. Like, I'm like, okay, girl, like now I got to tell her what, you know, what snatch means. Like, it was just kind of like, I can't like have this my money, you know? So it's dope that I feel like I have someone that speaks my same language, but also like now she gets me too. So she also just gives me permission. She's like, "Yeah, you a little kooky. That's okay. Like, that's cool. That's fine.
Just bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, just don't do this, you know?" Because I was like, I can't wait till I tell this nigga. She was like, "Nina, I didn't tell you to cuss him." I was like, "Oh, I forgot where I was. You know, I forgot." She's like, "Just keep your goal in mind."
It's giving wholesome to me. It's okay. It's
she's
wholesome.
like, you're not gonna do it every time. Like, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
And that's cool too. Like, there's times where I'm gonna lose my temper. There's times where I'm not gonna use my tools.
Yeah, my therapist said, what if it's okay to just be okay?
Right.
And in any situation, no matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent, I learned that, it's just okay. Like, if this happened this way, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. It's meant to happen that way. Yeah. It's that vulnerable part, that feel. Yeah. So
shout out to her.
Yeah.
She knows who she is.
And the cool thing too is, we're talking about therapy. People don't talk about it a lot. No. They are not. It
could be taboo with us, you know.
Yeah, and to know that, but to also know that there's some cool therapists out there
And it's also okay. It's just like anything else to test out. So not everything is going to be a fit.
Right.
So it's okay. And just
Right.
remember, like, you spending your money, like, you ain't got to spend it on anything you don't want to.
Facts.
But like, if it's not a fit, like, I'm not afraid to be like, hey, I don't think this is like a fit anymore. You know,
we ran our course.
You know, I had like 2 therapists before I found her. Over the course of a couple of years. So it was like I tried out a guy, I tried out a white woman, and then finally I landed with who I will be with forever as long as she will have me.
Thank God.
Yes. Yeah, everybody should be thanking her right now. I don't blow this whole motherfucker up.
Shout out. Well, yes. I appreciate you for being here.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
sharing life through your lens.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
You know, and okay, so if you can, this is my last question for you. If you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
I mean, I think like the biggest lesson, there's so many things. I mean, I would pull her aside, tell her everything. Well, I would say there's 2 things. I have a professional advice and I have advice about men.
Okay, go ahead.
Because she needs both.
Okay.
Poor baby. I professionally, I would just tell her, don't quit. That's the biggest advice. It's like, don't quit. I just don't want her to give up. Don't give up. Don't quit. Be tenacious. And not allow anyone's narrative to get into your head. Yes. Which I never did, but I think like as a young woman, I would wanted to have heard that, and that anything is possible. Literally. Anything is anything is possible. And it's so cliche, but it's true. Like, you've got to believe it.
And it'll
like
come.
You can't fake believe it. You can't tell people, but you don't really believe it. The key is when you say shit, you got to mean it.
Yeah, you got to walk in it.
Because I think I was really fake confident for a while.
Ooh.
And I didn't mean it though. And I don't think shit really shifted for me until I started to mean like I really was like walking the walk.
Yeah. And that's a scary thing in itself. Yeah. When you start to walking in it.
Yeah.
And you like, okay, this is, this is
and
the confidence.
You can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference. We can tell the difference. You scroll on your timeline, you can tell the difference. Right. So that's like, I think people really can tell like the real versus the fake more than anything. Men wise, dating wise. Just girl, girl, please God, girlfriend, little Nina, leave these men alone, girl. Like, one thing I never did was like, I never like moved anywhere for a guy, or like I never did that. But like, I'm such a lover girl. I'm a Libra. I'm a lover girl. And so I would put that before myself for many years. And I just want her to know you don't have to curate love. You don't have to curate a circumstance, situation, or a life to be loved. You being you should be enough. Once you find yourself having to curate friendships, love, relationships, it's the beginning of the end. And you don't have to do things to be loved.
That's really big.
And that's really what I would have wanted her to know, instead of trying to create a life that wasn't authentic to get love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out. Come on, give me that. That's good, because I know so many, I have the same background, the love thing, and it's just men, and you can't navigate them, but you can navigate yourself. Absolutely. And I try to tell kids and young girls that I work with and talk to,
what I would tell,
y'all chill out, and they're like, but that's my,
no, it's not, girl. No, it's not. It's, girl, no, that's not the love of your life.
That
girl.
YN ain't it.
That's the lust of your life. That's the lust talking, baby. You're just lusty.
Right.
No, but it can happen and it can extend. And I think like there was so much that I just didn't know about love. And I was just, and me and my friends, it was the mind leading the blind, but it never really affected my hustle, thank God. But it would put me in like depressive states, and like be like, why isn't this working? And it's just, I wish I would have known that I had, when we talk about free will, like, you don't have to deal with it. Do you know that? Like, do you know you don't have to do this shit? Do you know, like, I want women to see the peace that they could have. And like, really, once you get it, because I finally got it, and I'm at peace with that. Once you get it, you'll do everything to keep it.
Yes.
That piece is
Yes.
like, you say the wrong thing and you're blocked now. Like, I'm like,
You ain't
oh,
gonna
baby,
interrupt
you
my
got
piece.
you got one word out and then you blocked on my shit. Okay. Cause I'm, you know, the goal is really to be whole alone.
Yeah.
Have that wholeness.
Yeah.
So when someone else comes in, they're not bringing a piece of you or completing a piece of you because you're already whole. And in that way, you can really be your full authentic self. And then it allows you to find who is for you. Because when you're trying to fit all this other shit, like, some people are naturally supposed to leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And love
Yes.
is not enough
Lesson.
in any circumstance to stay when you are not being respected or appreciated. And I just want more women to know that and really own that. And I do see like a really cool awakening with young women now that's coming, that they're not so male centered. Yeah. And I think love is still wonderful and beautiful in marriage. And I think all of that, but with the right person.
Yes. Yes. And it's okay to let something go to find the right person, because the right person will show up.
I just always think about my parents who have been married. My parents have been together for 50 years.
Wow.
They're still married. And, you know, they still be cussing each other out. And, you know, my mom is disabled now. My mom is a cancer survivor, and it really messed up her body. So she walks with a cane, and she still will be like, I'll leave tomorrow. Like, don't talk to me crazy. Like, she, you know,
feisty.
She's feisty. But what I found is that she lets my dad know that she's not afraid to be without him. She loves him, and she's a great mother and wife, but she's not like scared to lose my dad. Even now, you know. And I think also she told me something when she was in her recovery. She went to like a cancer group, and she said half the women's husbands left them when they got sick. And that her counselor was like, you know, your husband may leave. And she was like, he ain't leaving me. Not with my two daughters. Like, you know, he would have got everything handed to him. But like, you know, it made me reframe my lens, because I would think every time I found a partner, I'll be like, is he going to stay? If I get sick, like, would this be someone who would stay with me? If I get sick and I can't do what I'm doing, like, because I was curating, right? So if I can't invite him to this event, if I can't do this service, cook or whatever it is, would this be someone who would still be with me? Because if their only incentive is to be with me for the things that I can provide, when I can't provide them, where does the love go?
Right. Wow.
So that was the new lens I started to look at relationships
That's a good
with.
lens.
And it's served me very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you dating?
Yeah, I am dating. Yeah, I am dating. I was in something for a little bit that just ended. So, but I'm dating, and I'm happily dating. And I was in a very long term. It wasn't a marriage, but it was like a decade long relationship that a lot of people didn't know I was in. Like, we living together, had a dog, like all those things, and it was incredibly toxic. And so it took me a really long time I didn't want to get into something else until all of the things that allowed me to get in that relationship. I'm not blaming him for it being toxic, because we were both in it. But whatever allowed me to get in it, I wanted to make sure that it didn't happen again, because I was like, I don't want to get out of this and then find someone else, and now I'm repeating the same patterns, because I ended up not liking who I was when I was in that relationship. And I stopped like laying blame on him for the first year. I was like, it was him. He sucked. He was horrible. And he probably was those things. But I was also like, I mean, it wasn't a great relationship. But also, like, you know, I just can't give 100% of the blame, because I was in it too. You know what I mean? I was just as in it as he was in it. And I just made the decision, like, I can't repeat this again. Like, I can't keep repeating these same patterns. You know, you really got to get sick of your own shit.
Yeah. You got to go through them cycles and say, I'm tired of getting on this ride.
Yeah. And so now, you know, I'm still always going to be a little cuckoo. You know what I mean? I do like a little man who get a little obsessed with me. Like, I like a little toxicity.
Be overprotective for me, okay?
I like a, you know, a chalant man. I don't want that nonchalant shit. Get that out of here. But, you know, there's things I like. You know, I like a little tattoo on the neck sometimes.
A little rough
up.
I
like a little bit, you know, but with reason.
Yeah.
You
for
know,
the right
and I'm mature enough to be able to, I walk away from things that a man that I really like, if I don't feel like my needs are being met, which I would never be able. I will fold every time before. Like, if you look good, I'm folding.
It's such a rewarding feeling.
Yeah,
it
but
is such a rewarding feeling.
I recently walked away from someone that I really enjoyed, because we just weren't on the same page. And it was probably the first time I had been tested like that, because he had everything, like all things checked. And I was like, do I just
Is
do
it
I
me?
just, maybe I can just be this, you know? And I really struggled with it, but I was like, no, this is not what I want. Like, this isn't what
Yeah.
I want. This isn't going to lead to what I want. Like, I have to make a mature decision here.
Yes.
And that's just something that you deal with. I think you think like when you turn a certain age, problems go away.
Oh, what I've learned.
And that's just not what happens.
They
Like, you
intensify.
grow for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, I have friends who, I'm not a divorcee, but like I feel like I was divorced. And I have friends going through divorces right now, and they're discovering parts about themselves and their partners, seeing sides to this person that they didn't know. And they're starting at square one. So they're dating again that they never thought they'd be dating. So it's like, you know, you can say like, yeah, I want to be married at 25, and your
Have the white
partner
picket
could get
fence.
sick. You could end a divorce. Things evolve and change for the rest of our lives. And when I was in my 20s and even 30s, I was like, well, when I'm in my 40s, life will be this way. And the biggest lesson I can tell people is that never happens. That like when I'm this age,
It don't.
never fucking happens. Think about your uncle that's 70 and still drinking and doing the same shit he was doing at
Thinking of wish
20.
I coulda, woulda.
Like, evolvement has nothing to do with like maturity.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so good.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Listen, we out here just living and making mistakes.
Shout
you
out
know?
to growth. Shout out to healing.
That's this. You
Shout
heal,
out to
you grow.
success.
You know
Yeah.
better, you try to do better.
Hey.
And the thing is, there's always tomorrow.
You can try again tomorrow. What did Leah say? You dust yourself
Dust
off and
yourself
what?
off
And try again.
It's just tomorrow is a new day, baby.
Well, I really, really,
That's
really,
what my phone
really
case
appreciate
says. It
Really?
says nothing changed. I'm gonna show you. This is I try to keep little reminders all over the place. I do little post-its. I do things to keep me in check. So this is my phone case. It says nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
And it's just a little like reminder. We gotta keep these reminders. Or
I get
you know
tattoos.
what?
You
I
got
need
stickers.
to see that when I put it face down when I'm at the when I'm at the counter getting food, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
I gotta change. Meanwhile, I'm like, oops, she's the fearless.
No,
She
you
flies
know
with her own
what? I just started getting tattoos in my 40s.
Really?
Because you gonna have a lot to cut here. You might have a two-parter because we just yapping.
Okay.
But, I started to get tattoos in my 40s because they always told us that we couldn't have tattoos as broadcasters because it was tacky. And so, you know, they were like, when you're doing red carpets, like that's going to look tacky to have tattoos all over. I really wanted sleeves. Like that's something I always wanted. And in my 40s, I was like, I'm doing all the shit that I've always wanted to do. So I started getting like, I got these tattoos on my arms, this one on my hand.
Yeah, I was looking at this one.
Yeah,
That's cute.
like I was like, y'all not gonna tell me. Like this is what I want to do. And now I'm doing like ear piercings. That's my new thing. It's like I'm getting into like ear stacks. I'm just doing all the shit that I didn't do because I was afraid of how it would be presented. I'm just like, I'm doing what I want to do now.
This, I promise. Look. This is my last thing, but I promise. How do you feel about people with nose rings now on the news?
I don't care.
Have you noticed that they're now allowing them to
I
get
like
these
the freedom
self-express-
because there's such
Yes.
I think like that veil of like perfection, social media is taking that away. Like you know, like the newscasters that have the biggest followings are the ones who are goofy or they dance or they show like them. You know those newscasters that are like they'll show them dancing during the break. I think like people want to see more of that and less of like
world is crashing.
And like we just all know that shit ain't real. I think people are really attracted to like if it's you, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Personally, I can't rock a nose ring.
You won't get
it just don't look good on me.
Or you won't get one of these.
No,
none of that.
But I did have a piercing phase when I was younger. I had my tongue pierced. Like, I've gone through those things.
You was up, wasn't you?
I was in San Francisco. Like, I'm gonna get a piercing. And then my dad was like, "This is bizarre.
Don't do it again."
He thought it was hoe activities. He was like, "Don't come back in here with that shit."
Yeah.
So
I got one of those conversations too.
yes, I'm like, well, you just gonna have to feel how you feel. You raised me to be independent, so you know,
it's just your fault.
Yes, exactly. So you know.
Well, I thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you
so much for chatting with me. I had a great time.
I had the best time.
Yes, and I hope that you all walk away from this interview knowing that you are enough, you can grow too, and you can heal. That's the biggest thing here, that you can grow and you can
it's
heal.
never, I think people think if something happens to them or they got a record, they got whatever, like life is done. And I think right now more than anything, you have the biggest opportunities to create your own thing.
Yes.
Be who you want to be. Like I think this is the best time. I wish it would have been like this when I was in my 20s.
Tell me about it.
To take advantage of it, because like I feel like I'm like, damn, like I just needed a couple extra years to get where it is now. So this is a great time to like not feel restricted.
And that is it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Well, I am here. This is Miss Nina Parker. Please tell people where they can find you.
My social is the same everywhere, so it's the Nina Parker on Instagram, TikTok, but really where I hang out is Threads.
You know, I
if
like
you're trying to talk to me, find me there, because I'm a yapper on Threads.
Threads is the one. You look up on Threads, you be like, yo, it's cracking in
They're
here.
like promoting my Threads. My friend sent me my Threads, and I guess it's on the Instagram timeline now. She like, girl, they promoting your thing. I'm just in there yapping. So yeah, that's.
I'll let be careful what you say.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah.
But, well, yes. So I'm glad that. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
And for you all, I'm leaving you with the Dear Ashley moment. So for me, Dear Ashley, dreams do come true. And there's always representation. As long as you reach out to the representation that is representing for you, you can reach that person. You can be whatever you want to be. I promise. Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sis.
Thank you.